Oh boy. Hey guys. First video 2022. I've taken a bit of a hiatus. Long story short, I've been playing a lot of New Vegas trying to get all the achievements, which at the time I'm recording this, I fucking did it. Hooray. Took me long enough. I promise you, I'm not dead. I have multiple video projects I'm working on right now. It's just, one of them is gonna be pretty long and it's gonna be a lot of work. It'll get done when it gets done. I wouldn't count on that coming out until probably like mid-February at the absolute latest, but other than that, no promises.
Hunt them to the last. The day we extinguish the Covenant's light.
As for the other video, well, you'll just have to wait and see. That might be the next one. Not sure. We'll see how it goes. Kingdom Hearts is a series that I hold very near and dear to me. I grew up playing the games, spending hours and hours just exploring, battling, synthesizing, just having a grand old fucking time. And I feel like I ought to provide, for lack of a better word, my resume when it comes to my history with this series, because I want you guys to feel, at least to some extent, just how let down I am with these demos and what I've experienced. At the time that this video goes up, the Nintendo Switch Cloud versions of the Kingdom Hearts collections are to be released on the 10th of February 2022. Not too long ago, they released demos for everyone to download, so people can experience a limited, timed release of each collection before launch day, so, they can test it, see how it works on their internet. Well, people have played them, and the results are, yeah. See, when Sora was announced for Smash Ultimate, they also announced that these cloud-based collections would come out for the Switch, and ever since there have been just so many memes about how they would perform like absolute ass. They're not too far off. There are multiple issues to discuss here, so let's just get right to it. Okay, let's just get the real big one out of the way first. Of all the games in these collections, I only play-tested Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, 0.2 Birth by Sleep, and 3. And starting with 1, almost immediately I noticed the graphical fidelity, which is to say, the lack thereof. When it came time to actually play the game, it might not look all that bad from what you're seeing, but it's like you're playing the game, but everything has been slathered in molasses. This is perhaps some of the worst, frame rate issues, stuttering, input lag I have ever experienced in any cloud-based game, especially for my trial run of Kingdom Hearts 2. Holy shit. Granted, I basically don't play cloud-based games. There was a brief stretch of time where I tried PlayStation Now, and it basically ran the same way that this did. I mean, I guess, partially some of this is on me. My internet speeds haven't really been the best in show. For most of my life, my internet speeds have been very modest, like even now. See, on a good day, I get about 10 megabits per second. Download and upload. I know to some people that's just way too fucking slow to be acceptable, but it's what I have, considering factors like where I live and what's available. Well, you just get better internet. That's not the point. See, when people get speeds upwards of 700 megabits a second and have an unplayable laggy mess on their hands, something is terribly, terribly wrong. Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 ran pretty poorly in my experience, but even I didn't have this level of lag. What felt almost like a paradox was 0.2 and 3 ran the best for me. I know it's not like you're running the entire game on your Switch, but like I figured if there were any games that would perform the worst, it would be these. I took some impromptu phone camera footage of me demonstrating the input lag in 1 and 0.2. 1, it's just awful. Zero 0.2, it's not too bad. Not the worst thing I've ever experienced, but I don't know. 3 ran essentially the same for me as 0.2, which I found odd. The older, simpler, less demanding games ran like trash, while the newer ones had a ton more stability. Yeah, there's probably other factors at play. Maybe 2 was one of the games people most wanted to test, but I was recording this footage at like 5:30 in the morning, so I'm not too sure about that. In my experience, reaction commands were a bit finicky at first, but during the first boss fight, I took so many pot shots from otherwise easily avoidable attacks and actually died. In a series where pattern recognition and having a good reaction time is necessary, this level of lag and stuttering is unacceptable. It'll get you killed through basically no fault of your own. Meanwhile, in 0.2 and 3, I'm playing fine. It's, at best, it's just kind of inconsistent and just lesser. And at its worst, it's just absolutely unplayable. Also, something else I want to mention, why the fuck is the entire collection $90 when you can get the same collections and content, the all-in-one package, on the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One, which at full price, I don't think matches $90, which also frequently goes on sale. Ooh. $90 for all this? Oh, but they're only demos. Things could get better. Well, sure, they could also get worse. But, let's say they do get better. That's not gonna help all that much for people who just plain have shitty internet. Well, if the only thing you have is a Switch, then, understandably, whether you have the means to or not, you might not want to get a whole ass new system just for these games. That's why I haven't gotten the games on Epic, because they'd be the only games I'd get for that service, and I don't want to sign up for Epic just for these games. Like, I already have them all on PS4, which run just fine for me, but if they do eventually come out on Steam and are good ports, I may perhaps indulge. Yeah, I'm biased, and would like to keep all my PC games on one platform if I can. All that aside, if the Switch Cloud versions are your only feasible option, I hope they run well for you. See, Square Enix has also stated that Switch native versions of these games are still possible. Which begs the question, why didn't they just fucking do that in the first place? Understandably, the 2.8 collection with 0.2 Birth by Sleep, as well as Kingdom Hearts 3, if you just straight up ported them over, I don't know how well they'd be able to run on the Switch. I have no doubt that all of these games, save for 0.2 and 3, could run pretty well on the Switch. 0.2 and 3 would probably need some reworking to, not turn your Switch into a fucking bomb. Reworking, perhaps, like we've seen in the Switch versions of Overwatch and The Witcher 3, perhaps. Obviously, in terms of graphics, they don't really hold a candle to their other, ports. But it's actually pretty impressive that they got The Witcher 3, of all things, to run on the Switch at all. Maybe it's an issue of storage? From my research, Switch cartridges can only hold around 32 gigabytes at most, Melody of Memory was the first Kingdom Hearts game released for the Switch and is easily the least technically demanding entry. On my PS5, it takes up around like 7 gigs. No surprise then that it has a physical and digital Switch release. It's not a very demanding game system-wise, and it doesn't take up that much storage. The 1.5 and 2.5 collection takes up over 60 gigabytes for me, 2.8 taking up a little over 30, and Kingdom Hearts 3, I think with Remind installed, needs almost 60 on its own. And understandably, these file sizes could be toned down with the proper adjustments, but I'm not sure how big of a drop that could be. See, when I'm saying all this, I'm not like a game designer. I've never made video games. I'm not entirely sure how this works. All I know is there probably is a way that, you know, you can shrink The Witcher 3, which on PC and all of its DLCs, it usually takes up around 40 gigs of space, and they can scrunch all that down to almost 32 for the Switch release. So maybe they can't squeeze the entire 1.5 and 2.5 collection into a single Switch cartridge, not unless they were to separate the 1.5 and 2.5 collections. But even if they did it that way, that'd be another thing for people to, you know, point at and, you know, complain about. Still, I'd rather they do that than what they're actually doing. But even then, it's hard for me not to see this situation we're faced with as a lose-lose-lose for us, the consumers. If these games don't sell well, they're probably just never gonna sell Kingdom Hearts games on Nintendo platforms ever again. I mean, that's not what I want to happen, for the record. I want as many people to be able to experience this series as possible, and partly that means there should be easily accessible ports for every feasible platform. But on the other hand, who knows, if these do sell pretty well, they may only do cloud releases for Kingdom Hearts, or hell, maybe even more than just Kingdom Hearts, for maybe even more platforms than just Nintendo. I mean, I severely doubt that would ever happen. I'm sure Square Enix is well aware of the shit show that would follow, but hey, they wouldn't be the first successful game company to make such stupid fucking decisions. People have also voiced concerns about the potential availability issues that the cloud ports could have. When a game is only released digitally, cloud version or otherwise, there's a chance that option for playing the game could be removed. This can happen for a variety of reasons, but ultimately that's one reason why many people, myself included, when possible, prefer to get their games physically. Someone could pay a whole ass $90 for the complete package, and it could just be taken away for one of many potential reasons at really any time. And I mean, I'd rather they have an option to play the games on Switch than not, but, you know. If you haven't played these games but still want to experience them, I implore that you don't support the Switch Cloud versions. I mean, I fucking love this series, which is why it pains me to say this. I don't think these ports are going to be any good. If you want to play Kingdom Hearts, go with literally any other version of the games. Sure, these Switch ports, from what I've seen of the demos, are playable. About as playable as bleach is a refreshing drink. I mean, all I can hope is that the ports get better and become passable, but from the poor showing the demos have given us, I don't think that's going to be the case. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, then do the thing if you wanna. Maybe subscribe if you haven't already and want to see more from me in the future. If so, make sure you ring that bell if you're really hankering for more. I do have a Patreon, link in the description. Any support is very much appreciated. Special thanks to my current patrons while I'm at it. And thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.